Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Someone will get in trouble. The question is, after this body of investigators will reach a conclusion, will determine the outcome of their investigation, will both parties will they accept the decision, the conclusion? I will tell you right now that they will not, but nevertheless, let's do it. The Russians are doing what they are supposed to, and we're going to talk about the killing of those POWs from Olenivka by, I don't know, we don't know yet by whom. The Russians say that it was the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians say no, it was the Russians. Well, guess what? We're going to have another Katin Forest investigation. I hope the investigation will not wait from 41 to 1991 to be determined or to remediate the lies. So we have here Republic World from today, July 31st, 2022. I mentioned Katin Forest because probably you guys are familiar with that. I mentioned that incident on a few occasions. I will mention it later here if we have time. I don't want to kill your time with that incident, but it's very relevant to what's gonna happen here. So Russia invites Red Cross and United Nations to investigate attack on Ukrainian POWs in Olenivka. So big problem. Why? Because I don't know what they're gonna find, and once they're gonna find something, what are the party that was let's say found responsible, what is the party gonna say? Well, like they always say. So in a major development, Russia has invited various international humanitarian organizations, so it's more than one, including Red Cross, to conduct an investigation on Olenivka attack. Excellent. Fantastic. I couldn't ask for more. A day after the daily attack on Ukrainian prisoners of war in Olenivka, resulting in killing of at least 50 POWs, Russia has invited various international humanitarian organizations to conduct an investigation. Perfect so far. Wouldn't you agree? The major announcement from the Russian Federation came as Ukrainian authorities repeatedly accused Moscow of the deadly attack of the POWs. Reacting to the repeated concerns and allegations, the Russian Defense Ministry invited experts from the United Nations and the International Committee of the Red Cross to visit the site and hold a probe in order to counter the Ukrainian claims, TASS, a news agency, reported on Saturday. Well, I think they will be allowed and have access to all the information, because you can invite them, but no, you can't go over there, no, you can't get this information, no, you can't get that one, or you can have this one and you can't have this one, So I'm quoting, Russia has officially invited UN and International Committee of the Red Cross experts to engage in an impartial investigation into an attack on a pre-trial detention center in Olenivka, which killed a large number of Ukrainian prisoners of war, read the statement released by the ministry. Fantastic. Excellent. Everybody should be happy and dance a hora. All right. Earlier, in a statement released by Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Lieutenant General Igor Konashenkov, he said Ukraine used the US-made HIMARS rocket to shell, The other one said, no, it was you guys who detonated this and that. We're not going to go into that. We know these guys say, no, you did it. These guys say, you did it. We don't know who did it. Now, you find out that Zelensky too urged Red Cross to investigate Russian war crimes. So already he decided it's a war crime. The other one said no. The other one said to impartial investigation into an attack. So the Russians are, I would say, more decent than the other guy who just said Zelensky urged to investigate Russian war crimes. So he already somehow knows that it's the way it is, because probably his people said, no, it was not us, it was them. But the Russians somehow keep their diplomatic way. Well, I would score points for the Russians so far because they were a little bit more decent than this guy. Maybe, as I said, let them be. On the other hand, President of Ukraine, Zelensky, on Friday denounced the Russian attack on Ukrainian. Okay, this is what I said, that's what's going to be. According to Zelensky, Ukrainian diplomats brought the information about the Russian attack, okay. So they are saying, as I said, he even appealed to the United States to declare Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, without the evidence being presented yet, just verbal, okay? So I posted, I think, 2 videos on what the Ukrainians said about who did it and how they did it, and it was their security services from like CIA, FBI, however, MI6, Mossad, intelligence services, those guys. They stated that they have audio recordings of the Russian military talking about, planning and following through the plan, and it was the Russian military. And then in another article from Ukrainska Pravda, the same news outlet, 50 minutes later they make another one and said, no, it was the Wagner group, the terrorist, whatever, the mercenary Wagner group, not the Russian military. So they're still at 50 minutes. I placed that, I made 2 videos on that. That's a lie. So you gotta make a, without saying, no, it was that. Both of them are going 2 different directions. Without going and say, no, it was actually 2 of them. Saying it was the Russian military, but the Wagner group, were the ones who did it. No, it was not like that. It was the Russian military, that's it. And then it was the Wagner group, that's it. And in the second one with the Wagner group at 10:55 a.m. when it occurred, they say it was not the Russian military. Here they say it was the Russian military. So you know what I mean? Let me take my violin, play some, I don't know, Paganini here or Vivaldi or whatever. So here we go. Let me tell you about this investigation. It's perfect what's going on here. The only thing I would like to see is this impartial investigation is conducted by impartial people, which is impossible, but you have opposite sides in there. That's how it's going to be. The evidence is presented, have access to information prevented, and I'm pretty sure the Russians were going to come with their videos and the satellite, all that, and they're going to say, here it is, and the Ukrainians say, no, that's fake. We're going to provide you with that too. Hey, Americans, do you have it ready? Yeah, in Hollywood? Okay, good, let's go. We knew that, we saw that in 1968, 69, we're done with that. So let's go back to this. Katin Forest. Katin Forest was when Poland was invaded attacked by Germans, and then the Soviets attacked. They met in the middle. Now, when they met in the middle, the commissars of the Soviet Union killed about 15,000 Polish intelligentsia, which is, as I said, professors, teachers, priests, school teachers, all people from the media and so on, people that are the cream of the culture. They would create and keep the culture and civilization, the Polish culture, alive. They kill that so they can build their own, the new Soviet thing. It happened in Romania too. It happened in almost every country that the Soviets invaded. And these commissars, look at their names, we have them, they killed them, they put them in mass graves in the Katin Forest. Now when the Germans attacked in 41, but Barbarossa operation, and they pushed the front, and the Soviets, they discovered those mass graves by population. Said, oh, look what happened here. So the Germans excavated a few bodies and say, stop, let's bring Red Cross and all the guys from the international investigation, and took pictures, are available. So that was in 41, I think 1941, and took pictures. And it was determined that the Soviet commissars did that, the Soviets. But after the war, because the Germans were guilty of the floods and everything, if there was a rainy day, it was because of the Nazis. After the war, obviously everything was all the guilt was placed on the Germans, not on the Soviets, because Uncle Joe and the Soviets were friends with the Americans, because who were riding high in Soviet Union in the communist times. Go check their names. I'll give you one, Kaganovich. And you want Kaganovich, not really Russian. Stalin, not really Russian. Beria, not really Russian. Yogoda, not really Russian. And these are just 4, but you can look and see at the guys and see how many Russians were in leading Soviet Union. So then they were friends with the United States and other people. I'm not going to go into that here because I don't want to create too many problems. I will later when we become more free. And then they, after 1999, so they blamed on the Germans. The Germans committed that 15,000 or 30,000 people, Polish officers and all that in Katin Forest, officers in intelligentsia. And it was until 1991 it was blamed on the Wehrmacht, Germans, SS, Nazis, blah blah blah. 1991, after the fall of the Soviet Union, the how do you call that? Were unsealed. The information and all this. How do you call those? Let me think. The archive. The archives were open in Soviet Union, and yes, indeed, it was found out like these guys invited all that, and they said, yeah, it was the Soviets, it was not the Germans. And they said, okay, the blame goes on the Soviets, not on the Germans. After how many years? 41, 51, 60, 70, 80, 90. So what? Well, 60 years after 60 years, almost, whatever. They found out, no, it was 91, so 41, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 50 years. After 50 years, they realized it was not the Germans, it was the Soviets. And they knew that all along, because those guys invited this Red Cross. The evidence was over there. The mass media, though, Kaganovich and Yogoda guys and Zelensky guy, they covered that. Why? Because they were riding high in not like high, but high, in good positions in Soviet Union. Check it out. I'm not bullshitting here. It's evidence. You just have to do 2-3 clicks and you find out the names right now. Not the names they go by, like Tom Jones, and his name is Yakim Baragovich. Just a second. Who are you? All right. So I'm afraid something like this will happen again. The Russians will invite all these guys. These guys will take pictures. We're gonna come to a conclusion, and they will say, yeah, it was the whomever. In case it was not the Russians, and it's still gonna be the Russians for these guys in the West. Yeah, the Russians did it. Why? Because the mass media is gonna zip it, and you're not gonna find out unless you watch this or you go deeper. The same thing is gonna probably happen here. And if the Russians invited them, I'm pretty sure they already have the case ready to prove that it was the other ones, fake or true or real. You know what I mean? But still, they are ready. Otherwise, they would not have invited. They put their ducks in a row and say, okay, now we're gonna. So it's clear that this guy's gonna prove it was the Ukrainians. But what is the mass media gonna do? The free mass media? No. Those guys tempered the investigation, the evidence, blah, 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 blah. You'll find out. Read my lips. Like, what's his name? George Bush the first. Read my lips, no higher taxes. And then what did he do? Yeah, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.